everybody. This is your host, Vic, and welcome to another effects review. Today we have the Walrus Audio Lillian Analog Phaser. So the price of this one was $217.51 because I had a coupon. Usually I believe it's around $220 is the normal price for it. Now, let's just go over the basics. If I'm just playing a normal note, just this is what it's on, and then pretty standard of the effect because it is just a phaser. I don't have to rate that high up right now, but let's just start with a super high rate. And then going with width. That gives it a little bit more character. Now with feedback. And then starting 1 dBV. And then also what's pretty neat, you can have a 6-stage or a 4-stage. So this is the 6, and then at least in my opinion, that is pretty neat of them to put that in there, so then you can have either a smoother or a rougher style of phaser at least. So let's go ahead and, you know what, let's load up an arpeggiator because we are using the Moog Messenger, as you're seeing, is a very common one I decided to use just because it is a mono synth and most of the pedals are mono. So if I'm loading up an arpeggiator here, something faster. Me personally, I have a love-hate relationship with phasers along with a lot of modulation. My favorite modulation is more of like Bit Crush style, or ring modulation, honestly. But it's hard to get me to like more of the basic styles of modulation, like your phasers, vibrato, and chorus. Like I don't hate this. Just to say, I like the little that little wiggly in the background there. I do appreciate it. I like it, but it's not my favorite style effect. I guess this would be good if I'm going in. Let's actually go and do a sub bass. So that's Pink 4. normally is. So probably just see how much cooler that sounds. I think these would be better suited. So as you heard, it is very nice on a style sub bass, like especially a respace and all that, because it gives it the little wobbles that I find are very appealing in a lot of aspects of using these. And I wouldn't exactly go and say, like, you can only use it on that. Of course, you can use it on other things if you want a little bit of wiggle in your life. But me personally, if I'm to use this, I'm going to use it more on the bass if I'm having a lot of warbly style tones, a lot of distortion built upon it too, just to give that extra little kick to it. Like I'm saying, I wouldn't exactly just use this by itself. I'll give it some distortion, maybe a little bit of delay, and make it a little bit of a chunkier sound. So let's get into the points. This build quality, 4 out of 5. Nice steel, nice knobs, good texture, easy to mess with. I'm not too worried about breaking this. No feet. Kind of annoying though. I would have liked to have feet on this. I'm going to put my own. But for the sound, like I said, by itself, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'll just give it a good 3 out of 5. It is a good phaser. I don't have an issue with phasers, just not my type of sound unless I'm stacking with some other things. So a nice crisp 3 out of 5 there. So overall together, I'll give it a good 3.5. Yeah, I think 3.5 is fair. It is a little bit expensive, but I don't pick up any noise. Nothing really wrong with it. It is Walrus Audio. That's a good brand there. So I'm not really having any type of super issues with it whatsoever. I like it. It's hard to get me to hate something unless it's just completely just awful. So if anything, leave a comment if there's anything else you want to see this on, and usually I will do that the same day, where I want to answer people's questions and just slap this on whatever to try and help people figure out what type of sounds they can get out of this before making a purchase, as nothing is too cheap. Like and subscribe, as that is always appreciated to help get my ramblings out to more people. And once again, this has been your host, Vic. I appreciate everyone's viewership. Thanks for watching. Bye.